Good evening, all. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series Division A Clash of the Titans. We have PFM, we have n0b0 Esprouts, and we have Slexia. How are you doing?
I am just fabulous as usual. Thank you so much for having me, Mongoose.
Oh, always happy to have someone writing shotgun. It means I'm not talking to myself and I bore myself. So that's all right. Game one, Battlefield of Eternity. It looks like n0b0 has first pick, so that means this was the pick of PFM. What are your thoughts on BOE?
Well, last time I saw PFM play, this was also their map pick, and they were really strong on it. I have seen n0b0 play on this map as well, and I think that we have a very we'll have a very tough time deciding beforehand who's going to win this. I think we're pretty equal here.
I mean, for a team that only, according to them, practices by doing ARAMs all the time, you would think that this would be right up their alley if you're n0b0. I mean, like perma-brawling in the mid lane, they're ready to go.
Yeah, this is definitely no problem for the n0b0 Esprouts.
And on the side of PFM, they were doing fantastic, undefeated until the division, and then they kind of stubbed their toe last week. Let's show everyone the standings in Division A while we're waiting for the game to get going. You can see number 1 n0b0 Esprouts, number 2 PFM, and they were upset by Nightwood in their last game, so probably a little disappointed. Both these teams now sitting at 7 points. n0b0 Esprouts actually hasn't lost a match yet. They've lost individual maps here and there, but haven't actually lost a set.
Yeah, it's definitely, I was part of casting that PFM set with Nightwood alongside Moist Venus, and it was tough to see them lose. It was definitely, I think, humbling. So I'm really excited to see what they have pulled together for this set tonight against the undefeated n0b0 Esprouts.
So since you were in that cast for that upset, was that a 2-0 or was it a 2-1?
It was a 2-1.
2-1. So what happened? Did Nightwood come out with some unorthodox draft strategy? Was it just maybe an offset for PFM? What was the vibe during the game like?
I feel like it was an offset for PFM. Their drafting wasn't really there to blow people up, and Nightwood had the advantage with the macro objectives on Volskaya Foundry as well as Infernal Shrines in the final 2 games, and just took it over, just rolled through and turned the map their color, and really were able to win by capitalizing on every single part of each of those maps.
All right, Slexia, we've got the R's. Somebody that wasn't me hit the start button, and that means we are...
Well, here we go.
That means we are going. Battlefield of Eternity, first pick, first ban. Going out for n0b0 Esprouts. So 2 questions. Who do they ban first? And is Ragnarok going to play Gazlo?
So I was gonna say they're gonna ban Zeratul. We've seen this, it's a trend. PFM just can't get their hands on Zeratul. Too strong of a player. I'm not sure who plays him, but it's a respect ban. I don't think Rag will pick Gazlo here, though. I don't feel that. I may anticipate seeing a Thrall from Rag, but I did see PFM pick up Thrall in those matches the last set with Nightwood. So I don't know. It's who's gonna get what, really with this game.
A Virtuoso going to play the Diablo. Yeah, but let's talk about that Zeratul. I think especially the higher up the ladder you climb, he is so impactful. If you know the other team has a Zeratul player that has any halfway idea of what he's doing, you just got to take it off the board. But the front line coming out off the bat from PFM, a Nubarak and Artanis, and then an Arthas and a Richard Gere. So Ace in the Hole going to combine with the Arthas slows, and that is two big, burly, brawly front lines for both of these teams off the bat. High priority on those tanks.
Definitely. I do see that here, and I agree. It's similar to the comp that they each had playing this map last time. I wouldn't be surprised seeing the Li Ming come out from Ragnarok here again either. Oh, well, it just got banned, so plan C. Here we go.
And let's go back a little further too. That Stukov ban is definitely targeted at Arya. Plays one hell of a Stukov, she does. So these two teams doing their homework a little bit, even though n0b0 likes to say they don't real try hard or whatever. They know what's going on over there. They definitely have an idea of what those guys like to play. And Anna banned out. She's flat broken sometimes right now, and the healing reduction really does a number on Arthas's Army of the Dead as well. So taking her off the board, a very smart decision.
Right, and we did see that Deckard ban too. We've seen Bernie Byrne really getting those Lornados, those reverse Lornados in the past games, and just setting up for disaster for the other team. But we do see Tyrande and Vala picked up for that shred on the Immortal. Looks like, PFM is setting up a good comp here to really burn that Immortal down.
Yeah, for sure. Hunter's Mark, Vala, and the amateur opponent on the Artanis. It's going to be hard for n0b0 to draft anything that's going to compare to that. I suppose you could jump on a Greyman if you want, but if it's going to be Gazlowe, it is not. You were correct. It is the Thrall. So a three-man frontline, solo ranged Raynor. Bernie Byrne, who got the shout-out as the top support in Division A on the last episode of Nexus Edge, if you haven't listened. Bernie Byrne getting the shout-out there, gets to flex on the Lucio this game.
How flattering, and such a way to flex in those rollerblades. You just love to see that.
So last pick. Now, typically, Arya is the support. I was just going to say that. So with the Vala, two very different approaches. A hyper carry double support Vala for the side of PFM. And on the flip side, from n0b0 Esprouts, you have a triple frontline solo ranged assassin Raynor. Competing styles, contrasting styles. Who do you like more in this setup?
Well, considering they have different styles on this map, with PFM going for that Immortal burn down and n0b0 going for that ARAM approach, I like both of their drafts for what they're trying to do. Each of those heroes on n0b0's side definitely has the sustain, and they all are familiar with how to place themselves to stay out of danger. But PFM has that burn on the Immortal. I think that we're looking at the sustainability from n0b0 and that being paramount here to really take down the enemy team and focus their backline, so that then they can have their chance at even hitting that Immortal or taking any percentage off whatsoever. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I was going to give the tiebreaker to the team that had the best portrait synergy in the loading screen. But that is a tie, because these teams are on point with their portrait synergy.
That's true.
I'm looking at my only concern from either of these squads, as we do get into game here. Oh, that is the wrong screen. Ignore that. Pretend that never happened. I am a caster. I have done this before. I swear. Is if Vala, even by herself enabled with the double supports, has enough damage for all of the big burly hit points and the durability out of a Diablo, and Arthas, and a Thrall, even Raynor has self-sustain. That is a lot, especially post-16, once Lucio's healing really kicks in. They're going to be really durable. But let's introduce our teams here. PFM in the blue trunks, the Stroke on Anubarak, Zerisk on Tyrande, Darabo on Vala, Arya on White Mane, and by himself in the top, Mudge on Artanis.
And on the red team for n0b0 Esprouts, we have Ragnarok on Thrall, Wipeout on Arthas, Richard Gere on Raynor, Bernie Byrne on Lucio, and Virtuoso on Diablo.
That is a triple bed of barbs and a triple lunar flare there to put a little bit of a hurtin' on n0b0 in the early going. Let's pop into the early lane. Artanis can struggle into Arthas if he puts on his Frost Aura there, Wipeout. Hasn't done so yet, for some reason. But this is a matchup that there we go. Artanis can struggle into a little bit. So let's give these guys a moment to shine up here, even though it looks like, oh my god, stuff's going crazy in the bottom lane. I had to flash back down here when I saw those health bars going so low.
Definitely. It looks like they're all the way at the gate, and Tyrande lands her stun on Richard Gere, and he's just shooting from back there. They're really pushing aggressively towards the red side of the map this time.
Hard onto the Xerac as Virtuoso goes, is able to escape, or does he? Rag really going YOLO and actually secures the kill pretty deep into the formation there of PFM, has no mana at the end of it and is going to hide in the rocks over there and Hearth back, but first blood going over to Ragnarok and n0b0 Esprouts. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Slexia, Wipeout and Mudge dueling over this camp. Who is going to win?
I think it's probably going to be Artanis that wins this one.
We're not going to see, though. Both teams sending reinforcements.
What? But n0b0 definitely charged in and said, you know, this is going to go to the blue side back up, or however he speaks in his beetle language.
I'm not going to stop you if you want to do an n0b0 impression.
No, that's one I won't actually try. I don't have the octaves in my vocal cords.
I will say though, that's a sign of a good team right there. n0b0 just kind of knowing that they were beaten and backing up. So many teams will just kind of overstay, lose anyway, and give up a couple of cheap kills for it. And they just kind of retreated in good order, gave up the camp. Not the end of the world. Both teams jumping straight onto their bruiser camps as well. This is going to be simultaneous caps by both of these teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Still top lane Mercs, though, pushing out, and let's see what these teams do. Both are going to burn, and that's going to be in favor of, it looks like n0b0 actually winning. Yeah, it is. No.
Yeah?
No. The colors always mess me up when I'm in observer mode. So the red is lower, so I lied. I thought PFM would win that. That really confused me. So PFM wins halftime, as they should. Now n0b0 Esprouts is coming in for the invade. The stroke gets blown up.
We definitely see them zoning out, protecting their immortal. Mudge is trying to continue to chunk that thing down, but they're really protective over it. It's really how long can they keep them at bay until, n0b0 and Artanis are back with those really low death timers. The camps are still pushing in both lanes, and it looks like Wipeout has rotated down to start clearing.
Yeah, Richard Gere now putting the hurting on the Immortal. PFM will very likely still win this. And now you can see that the retreat flag has been thrown out by n0b0. They were just buying as much time as they can, burning the shields out as much as they could. And objective number 1 over to PFM. So Mudge going to make his way into the bottom lane, where he will resume his eternal struggle with the Wipeout.
And we see 11 stacks of Crash Lightning on Ragnarok at this time, as we are in the first Immortal at level 6.
So one of the drawbacks to such a melee-heavy team is n0b0 goes in for the double stun. For such a melee-heavy team, is most of the best anti-siege heroes tend to be ranged heroes, so sometimes melee-heavy teams can struggle into anti-siege. We'll see how they do. They're doing okay. Front wall going down, Rag going down as well. Thrall getting taken down. First kill of the game for PFM, and they are eyeing a fort out of this with the death of Thrall, and looking like they're going to get it too.
Definitely gonna get it. I see Hungering Arrow just bouncing around between the 3 remaining members, and Tyrande is really on point with her E, stunning n0b0 Esprouts as they back up and just wait for PFM to go back to whatever they were doing before that fort.
Yeah, and if you get a full fort out of the first Immortal, you're pretty happy with that. You don't see that too much here on Battlefield of Eternity. And you're spot on, by the way, with the Lunar Flare follow-up. Support players, if you're Tyrande and there's an Anub on your team, just don't hit that E button until Anubarak starts smacking somebody around.
Definitely, and as we can see, you know, that owl flew to bottom lane and definitely caught n0b0 on their rotation down. Rag is top by himself against two. Actually, Arya waiting in the wings, and he's just mounted up just to have some presence there for clearing. Looks like they swapped roles for a heftier front line.
So with the changes in the game we had earlier this year, despite the kill and structure differences between the two teams, our experience is, well, it's identical. Neither team really is ahead. Second objective will be spawning shortly. Neither team will have a significant advantage going into this. Let's see how this fight develops. Is PFM actually looking to clear this and then maybe get a tower? Mudge dashing in.
We see n0b0 playing it pretty safe as they are just trying to maintain their health bars before the Immortal spawns. It is about 2 seconds, but Diablo did go for a flip on Mudge, and it looks like Mudge is getting pretty low. The stroke came in an attempt to really keep them from wiping him out, as Wipeout is almost taken out himself and has to mount up and get ready for that Immortal, which has now spawned. Yeah, but it looks like it's already getting burned down by PFM.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. The spawn of these just kind of favored the positioning of the PFM, and they're already at halftime. Their burn is so unbelievably fast, but Mudge might be in trouble.
You know, we always hear that term, we're scaling from n0b0 Esprouts, or just in general. In any ARAM, which is where they do practice. And as we can see, that scaling that is happening is actually taking some lives from PFM as Vala and Tyrande go down and the stroke is being pursued. He is down as well, and you know, Mudge and Arya just have to back up while, as anticipated, n0b0 Esprouts is able to get theirs and take the Immortal down at this time. Heroics or rather ultimates are online for n0b0 as well.
Yeah, we have Earthquake for Thrall, Army of the Dead for Arthas, Jimmy Jr. for Jim Raynor, Sound Barrier for Lucio, and Apocalypse for Diablo.
Did you say Jimmy Jr.?
You've never heard Jimmy Jr.? Yes, Jimmy Jr.
No,
for Raynor.
But
and Heroics online now for PFM.
Well, PFM has taken Cocoon on Anubarak, Suppression Pulse on Artanis, Reign of Vengeance on Vala, Starfall on Tyrande, and Scarlet Aegis on Whitemane.
So that objective was secured by n0b0 Esprouts. Now both sides, no offlane soak here. Bullying into this fort is n0b0 Esprouts. And now we're post 10. We're really going to see if my fear was real. APOC goes down, only catches one. Sound Barrier to keep this fight going. Mudge is in trouble again. Cocoon onto Lucio, instantly burned out. The Stroke now going down. Mudge melting, first to go down. Stroke in trouble. The sludge, the mud from Arthas is just holding everybody in place and giving Jimmy permanent bonus damage. Two more members of PFM fall. Wipeout going to get some more soak. And an excellent siege there from n0b0 Esprouts, and Ragnarok is out of mana again.
Always out of mana. You know, we do see the power of having that Lucio with that melee just surrounding him with the break it down. They're able to sustain through some pretty sticky situations, even with the AoE damage coming from Tyrande, but I do think she used it before that engagement, which could have really changed the way that fight turned out.
Yeah, when I looked, when I looked at these comps after draft, you know, Anubarak, obviously a ton of CC in the front line, and can really control a large area with Cocoon as well. But Artanis doesn't add to that, and there is so much coming out from n0b0 Esprouts. I just thought they would kind of roll over that front line, and we've seen it a couple of times now with just Mudge and Artanis. They cannot hold Arthas and Thrall and Diablo back. They just seem to shove in no matter what it is. So I don't know if PFM needs to, like, kind of anticipate kiting backwards every fight, but they can't stand there and fight them. They're losing that style of engage. Level 13 invasion coming out here by n0b0 Esprouts.
Such an arrogant play, but that's how they tend to get in these matches. And as we can see, it may not have been the best call as Wipeout was cocooned, but health bars are dropping and Vala goes down again. Virtuoso is getting so low, but Mudge did not get that kill when he zoned in, and it looks like we see Virtuoso down as well as n0b0. The camp has not turned fully blue yet. Will it ever? I don't actually think so. It looks like after all of that, n0b0 Esprouts will take 4 people out of this game and continue towards the main objective as Bernie Burn flexes his taunt and burn down the blue immortal.
Yeah, it was a confident call, if you will, but they felt sure with the level 13 talent tier advantage that they could take whatever PFM threw at them, and they could. And it was a really good engage by PFM too. They went in hard. They cocooned Wipeout early, who has been a problem, and then they pushed out n0b0 to the point where they couldn't burn him out, but they just couldn't kill. The cocoon duration lasted the full duration on Wipeout, and they still couldn't kill the members of n0b0 Esprouts. With that double support, Vala by herself hasn't proven to be enough damage.
Right, and her health pool is just so low. She's practically made of wet tissue paper. Just one dive on her, which Diablo is capable of doing, or one slow on her, which multiple heroes are, is just going to leave her vulnerable for murder, essentially, to be murdered.
All right, n0b0 Esprouts now laying siege to the top camp, 2 levels up, but same talent tier, so PFM can take this fight if they want to. And if everything's looking good, after the Immortal is dead, they may want to try to catch a re-engage pre-16 if that option is available. But look at Mudge. He is just getting held so hard in the fights, and with the attack speed slows from Arthas being played by Wipeout, he can't proc his shields as much. He's really getting chunked down.
Right, he's basically just a melee assassin. He doesn't really feel like a bruiser without those shields in these engagements. And as we can see in the damage, you know, Vala is doing exceptional work at pumping it out, but with that self-sustain we talked about in the beginning, n0b0 Esprouts is able to just engage without much concern at all.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the adjustment is, but like I said, I don't think PFM can stand toe-to-toe in these engagements. They can't just sit there and trade. That favors n0b0 Esprouts, especially now with this lead. They're going to try to catch them rotating back, and oh, great call here by PFM going the safe way, and then appealing Lunar Flare. Great job by PFM. They couldn't have done that in any other way and still got out safely. Really well played.
Absolutely. It was definitely the time to just maybe answer to top camp and play it safe. You know, find experience where you can, get 16, and really keep an eye on any other siege camps if possible. But unfortunately, that luxury may not exist as we see n0b0 Esprouts pushing bottom.
And look at Wipeout. Wipeout literally just stood there and took the full brunt of everything that PFM could throw out, and it just didn't even phase him. Look at his health right now. It's full, basically.
It's full with armor. So, you know, little Jimmy looks full as well, as I can see they're hovering on the map.
Yeah, Jimmy Jr. doesn't have a problem in the world.
Oh, my bad. Jimmy Jr.
We call him Little Jimmy as well. I mean, they're interchangeable.
Okay. Oof. Thought I really messed up. It looks like Tyrande throws her ultimate down, and then we get an earthquake going. n0b0 tries to pull out his spikes to get n0b0 Esprouts down. Virtuoso's really struggling. Bragg has been put in the cocoon, and their health is just, other than Vert going down, maintaining. Wipeout is shielded. Vala goes down once again.
Look at Richard Gere is just Like, he hasn't been touched this whole fight. He's literally sitting there at
Right.
full health and just auto-attacking away. Now they might get him. No. Ragnarok and Richard Gere will be the last men standing. That was really the perfect fight for PFM to take. n0b0 Esprouts allowed themselves to be engaged under the other team's immortal. So in addition to dodging all of the abilities and skill shots and damage from PFM, you saw during the fight they actually had to contend with the immortal stuns that were going out. Now, they were never hit by any of them, but they were moving around to avoid them, and that's kind of one more thing to worry about. That's a very tough spot to fight in, combined with the Starfall placed perfectly on top of that, and they fought completely inside it, eating the full duration of the Starfall from Tehran.
Definitely we did, and it looks like it's just 5v5 for the rest of the game at this point. It doesn't, they're both at the same talent tier at this time. Virtuoso is starting to feel the effects of that Vala tank shred, and Ragnarok goes down as well. Artanis getting some value. Vala taking a death for taking Ragnarok's life, and they are just going to push back on each other. It's 2 kills for 1, and we just see Mudge being chased non-stop, but Wipeout is looking a little low. Unfortunately, Mudge was caught on the wrong side of that immortal stun with a follow-up from damage by Richard Gere.
Yeah, what you saw in that Artanis kill, Wipeout just literally sitting on Artanis, while Richard Gere permaprocced Ace in the hole the entire time. Artanis had no way of getting away and just ate that damage for that entire duration. And a little bit of a turn there by n0b0 Esprouts. And here again, you see, look, Wipeout just sits on him and Richard Gere just chunks down whoever it is.
Yeah, Richard Gere is basically living in the lap of luxury this game. Just doing whatever he pleases. I hope no one really catches wind of it, because then he might not actually get as many kills as he does. But at this time, you know, that's the way she wrote. Unfortunately, little Jimmy did pass away during this engagement.
And the most important thing, I think, there from the side of n0b0 Esprouts, let me put that on hold. Big Root coming out. Whitemane going down. I was going to say, I think probably the biggest thing there on getting that kill on a Nubarak is I'm sure Ragnarok noticed that Wipeout got the kill and not Richard Gere, and he is desperate to catch Richard Gere in kills.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
So big
he really
break.
Is.
Yeah, that was a big break there for him with Wipeout actually getting the final blow. But that most recent kill did go over to Richard Gere, so Wipeout Rag really needs to keep up here.
He does. That's his goal. It's his prerogative. It's, you know, it's his life. And we see him just inching forward, looking to secure a kill to boost his stats. But they are at the keep, and this is a healthy Immortal with a healthy n0b0. The whole team on PFM is up at this time, and we see the team together, ready to defend as keep is down.
Well, and not only is keep down, this Immortal is pretty much full health. n0b0 Esprouts on the verge of 20. This is going to be the Alamo. Cocoon going down on the Arthas. It is getting burned down pretty quick.
Cocoon.
There's the Apocalypse. Break it down. Only one stunned in the Apocalypse. Core is being shredded, though. 20%, 10%.
Yeah.
And that's going to be game 1 over...
GG.
Yeah, GG indeed to n0b0 Esprouts in a game that featured a combined, what would that be? 25 kills is my caster. Oh, caster math nailed it. Combined 25 kills between the two teams there.
Definitely, that's a pretty high kill count coming out from n0b0 Esprouts. You know, as well as, you know, PFM. What I'd like to point out is what bullies n0b0 was this game. As they do have their ARAM strategy, and they are the ultimate meme team, self-acclaimed meme team. You know, they really, it seems like they don't care what map it's on. They're just there to hunt you down and kill you, and we saw that again and again. That is when they were able to have the luxury to take those immortals and push those structures. Without that mentality, this was this was a loss for them based on draft, but the way that they played it is how they won it.
And I want to give you a little peek into the comms of n0b0 Esprouts. It's Richard Gere pointing out the 9-4 in kills on the stat screen. Guaranteed. That was brought up between games. They're not discussing strategy. Those two guys
Absolutely
are
not.
All
They're
right.
just flexing on each other. You know, maybe it's the fact that, you know, Ragnarok did die twice and Richard Gere was alive the whole game, that Rag can clap back at him and say, I was frontline, you got to stand back in some luxurious place, with a lemonade and a magazine and just auto attack. But we'll never know. We can speculate, but we'll never actually know.
I'm pretty sure I actually saw Jimmy Jr. equipped with a lemonade dispenser. That's probably true. So if you're the
Mm-hmm.
side of PFM, what's the adjustments you're gonna take out of that? Do you feel it was a draft loss? Do you feel an adjustment wasn't made? Do you want to do maybe something a little less team fighty, a little more macro-y? What do you think those guys are saying to each other right now?
I think what they're saying is, okay, we need self-sustain and we need to play our best heroes. Let's not play for the map because there is no logic when playing against n0b0 Esprouts. We're not playing Battlefield of Eternity to get these immortals down. We're playing whatever map it is to team fight all the time and win. And we have some very seasoned players on both teams. And that's why we're seeing targeted bans, because if you are given your comfort pick, you are given the luxury to just wreck. And I think that PFM is probably thinking that anything that they know is no longer viable against n0b0 Esprouts at this time.
And we're memeing a little bit, of course, but the side effect to kind of the approach that n0b0 takes with their practices and how they approach the game is they are really aggressive, like just kind of how they play, because they just want to kind of brawl all the time. They're constantly looking to take advantage of talent tier, to advantages they would have. We saw it in that big brawl over the Bruiser camp. They stepped in 13 and 12. It turned into a big team fight win for them. And while we're kind of poking fun at them a little bit, it translates into a personality in the game of a very aggressive, confident team, and just kind of how they present in the game, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And there could have been a false sense of security about that at the beginning when that top siege camp was being fought over by Artanis and Arthas. And, n0b0 backed up, like, no, you know what? Let them have it. We don't want to take this fight. That was the only time that n0b0 was like, no, we don't want to take this fight. Every other time they were like, we're going to take this fight. Let's force a fight.
Yeah.
And we saw it over and over.
Yeah, and the only time it backfired on them was when they took that fight under the Immortal, under the perfect Starfall. It was like just the wrong place to be, and probably by the time they realized it was too late to pull themselves out of that situation. So you just kind of you make whatever you can out of it, But other than those two situations, they didn't have a bad fight to take, if that makes sense. They just put themselves in situations where they were good fights. They were always good fights.
Right.
And I think part of that was the differences between the two front lines, and I said it a couple times during the game, PFM could not stand toe-to-toe. Diablo and Arthas and Thrall, they just kept rolling forward and rolling forward and rolling forward. And Anubarak and Artanis in particular, they don't have the tools to deal with it.
Right. And if you're going to pick Anubarak as a front line, but then ban the Li Ming and know what the other team plays, I'm almost curious if that was the right pick as the main tank.
Well, I wonder if the flip side of that, as soon as they saw that Artanis come out, I think, because that was really the linchpin to how the game went, was the tools available to Artanis. It's like not a reflection on Mudge on the Artanis. It was just the tools that are available in Artanis' kit don't give him anything to work with. He was just at a disadvantage the whole game based on the comps that were there. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I bet you as soon as that Artanis showed in draft, n0b0 Esprouts' eyes got big, and then that's exactly what they wanted. You saw the quick grab, that second rotation of the Arthas Raynor, and it was like snap, snap.
For sure. And those are those seem to be comfort picks as well. Ooh, I was invited to a lobby.
All
Ooh,
right.
Volskaya.
Volskaya Foundry. The Gazlo special. Ragnarok is very proud of his undefeated 100% NGS win rate Gazlo. First pick PFM, so not surprising. This was n0b0 Esprouts' choice of map, and they will have last pick. So let's put the Gazlo alert up. And don't tell me, guys, I'm spoiling the strats for you because everybody knows now. It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah, it's no secret. Everyone knows. And if they didn't, I'm surprised it hasn't been typed in chat yet, which it has not. I'm curious to see what the drafts will be, but it looks like we're ready. So let's get into the draft.
Yep. Somebody, maybe Virtuoso. There it is. Gonna press the button. Welcome to Volskaya Foundry. Here we go. So let's see if the ban priority changes after game 1. Typically, after first game, you'll see at least one target ban. Now, that is a target ban, by the way.
Definitely
Wipeout has been playing Imperious, yeah. And on Volskaya in particular, we've seen a number of games, because n0b0 Esprouts does play Volskaya, where teams don't pay attention on the first objective. That conveyor belt runs right up the flank of the objective. And if you get Imperious flying in on that flank for a big-time impale, I've seen Wipeout a couple of times hit a big one when the other team just isn't paying attention to the speed with which the offlaner can rotate. But won't see it here. Still sticking with the Zeratul ban. Not going to see Zeratul. See who PFM comes with here.
Is it a Gazlo? It's a Deckard Cain. Yeah, those potions, especially if they get to the bottomless, can just be unsettling. And there's that targeted Stukov ban, which is just a real problem on those tight quarters for the objectives in Volskaya.
So no changes in the bans, and all of those bans are targeted, like 100%. Those are all targeted bans for players on each of them. So neither side saw something to change the bans. However, first pick Diablo coming out for PFM, wanting to keep that out of Virtuoso's hands, take it for themselves. So the Stroke going to be playing Diablo here for PFM in game 2.
I am just excited for this game. You know, after seeing this map lost by PFM in their last set. Ooh, we see Garrosh and Tychus. After we, saw the loss that PFM had against Nightwood, I'm curious what kind of strategy changes they have in approaching this map. I know n0b0's strategy, and I've seen PFM's, but I'm sure they're rethinking that.
Yeah, PFM is a really good team. They had a great season last season as they pick up the Ana, and they had a great season so far this season, but stumbling a little bit. Now, I do think game 1, was largely a draft loss. Maybe a little bit of not knowing or being able to, or even if there was an adjustment to be made during game, but mostly a draft loss. But we do have an Alarak coming out. Alarak feels like one of those heroes that's kind of all or nothing. When an Alarak is played well, it's so overpowering and overbearing.
Oppressive and
very much so.
Terrifying, and just the way he talks alone is enough to scare someone.
A little bit of a Debbie Downer too.
Yeah, just really negative, and that energy built up with his sadism is just something you hate to see, Mongo.
So, Jaina not going to be played. Maybe staying out of the APOC Ring of Frost there, or possibly just because she's good. They don't want to see her. And no more Lucio.
Oh, no. But I think that Jaina was a targeted ban as well. I think Zeratul and Jaina are two powerful heroes for PFM.
Yeah, so Burning Burn going to have to play somebody other than Lucio or Deckard Cain. I would think they're going to grab their support here, and you're going to see Wipeout's hero selected here as well. They're going to leave Rag to flex late. That's going to be my guess. Yep, there it is. Burny Burn on the White Mane, Wipeout back on the Arthas, and Gazlowe alert still in effect.
Are we gonna see it though, Mongoose? Are we gonna see it?
I think it depends. I guarantee you Rag is thinking about it. I guarantee you they're talking about it right now, but I think it's going to depend on what PFM picks here. So let's find out. Hanzo and ETC. So a little bit of a flip, going the triple frontline solo ranged assassin here for PFM. So does Rag feel comfortable playing Gaz into that? That could be a great Gravo Bomb combo with so many heroes clumped up together. They would have to march into the slow turrets if that's the direction he goes. But
we do often see Rag playing his Gazlowe just way in the back, you know.
Opting to go with the Junkrat instead. Yeah, what I started to say, the flip side of that was, if you're Gazlowe and you get caught by anybody on PFM, he is 100% done.
Right. I heard the noise, and I'm assuming that was a knife across the throat.
It was. I even made the motion on camera.
Hawking a loogie or anything. Okay, no. I'll have to watch.
No, I mute when I hawk a loogie. I don't actually do the noise on the screen.
I don't know. Just kidding. I do know no one would be that savage, right? That's kind of gross. All right, awkward conversation. So,
which comp do you like better? Slexia.
I like PFM's comp better. I see the sustain, with very little blow-up opportunity coming from n0b0 Esprouts, and I see a lot of protection for Alarak, the terrifying negative Nancy, and Hanzo, who is just OP, as we all know.
Yeah. What I'm concerned about taking this draft for n0b0 Esprouts is who's going to finish the kills. They have a lot of setup damage, but I don't feel like they have a finisher. Let's see how this plays out. In the blue trunks, once again, PFM, the stroke on Diablo, Mudge on ETC, Arya on Ana, Zerisk on Alarak, and Daribo on Hanzo.
And wearing those red bikinis, we have Ragnarok playing Junkrat, Burny Burn on White Mane, Wipeout on Arthas, Virtuoso on Garrosh, and Richard Gere on Tychus.
Unfortunately, it is only Summer Tychus, not Banana Hammock Tychus, so that is going to put him at a disadvantage.
I know. You hate to see an opportunity lost.
You know, I don't know that I've seen an Alarak-Garrosh matchup in a while. Virtuoso is going to have to kind of step forward to try to get his setup, and the flip side of that is that means he has to put himself in range of Alarak, so that's going to be an interesting little back and forth to watch. In the bottom lane, I think this is a matchup that's going to just favor Arthas over time. But his wave clear is better, his damage is better. ETC's wave clear is kind of garbaggio, to be honest.
Right, it's a very interesting matchup, but I think that they drafted to prepare for those team fights, the sustainability, the protection of their backlines so that they can, definitely engage.
I mean, you can see it right now. ETC is already chunked out once Wipeout started going on him, because Wipeout's a little bit of a conservative player, doesn't want to make any big mistakes, but once he started really going on ETC, that health bar melted real quick.
Definitely. We already see n0b0 Esprouts on their fortification camp. Richard Gere and Burny Burn just shooting that turret, having a good time while White Mane laughs at...
Oh, no. That's Lunara, my bad. Carbet Lunara. I'm confusing
it's
my...
kind of like that.
Yeah. Carbet Lunara, best laughing. Even though it's... Is it actually in the game? I know a lot of Carbet stuff is it.
Yes, when she does her leap, it goes, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that's the best laugh in the game.
Jumped.
Although, the Junkrat just had a pretty good laugh right there, too.
Yeah, I can't impersonate that.
No, neither can I, but it was good. A little bit of a calm before the storm here. Both teams kind of posturing around, passively soaking, clearing waves. n0b0 Esprouts is already on their camp. No move for the same from PFM quite yet. Concussion Mine laid on the Biotic Emitter just to keep tabs on PFM.
Right, and I think that, you know, n0b0 is kind of early on this camp. I don't know if they'll cap it. I'm definitely have it down.
Yeah, they're holding.
Them.
Richard Gere is holding it for sure.
And he changed his mind. There it goes. 15 seconds until the first objective. While PFM is downing their siege camp as well.
Alright, so here we go. First objective here on Volskaya Foundry. Early advantage to n0b0 Esprouts. They are here first. They will start channeling early. PFM has sent 2 members to the top lane to clear out those merc camps. Rag is peppering this mid fort with grenades, trying to get a little free siege damage in. Wipeout still saying soaking bottom. PFM doesn't seem to have a whole lot of interest in this objective, I should say, quite yet. Junkrat is going to the top, and now PFM is going to step in. With Junkrat showing in the top lane, Virtuoso is caught and silenced, but Garrosh is pretty friggin' tanky, and he's going to walk away with not much harm done there.
It seems like just like a very casual encounter. Just take it, get a couple, you know, percentage points here. Let's go back and forth. Let's set ourselves up, and now we're probably going to see the hard fight. Or not.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for 7. There's the toss and the stun, and Alarak is probably in trouble, but not able to get him yet.
He came back for a second.
And now they got him. And it is Richard Gere racking up another kill. But n0b0 Esprouts here is pretty low, but they toss the Mudge anyway, and Virtuoso gets absolutely bullied, but not dead yet. Less than 100 health. He needs a heal. Bernie burn.
Oh, you hate to see. I couldn't handle that for some reason. It was really bad, but we see a 4v. I'm not even gonna say it's a 4v5 because their health bars are so. Ooh, Wipeout goes down, and so does ETC.
Virtuoso is really doing a masterful job as he hits the throw onto Zerisk, then the follow-up, and they get the Alarak. What I started to say is Garrosh, when he's played effectively, is really played on the razor's edge of health, because it sounds weird to say, you kind of don't want him at full health. You want him down a little bit to really take advantage of that armor trait. And Virtuoso has done a masterful job of really flirting with that line between taking advantage of the armor and being too low. Sometimes maybe a little bit too close, but so far paying off. About a half a level lead, and first Rock'em Sock'em Robot going over to n0b0 Esprouts.
Definitely just throwing a laser down to show what it can do as n0b0 Esprouts takes the Protector top to clear the wave a little bit so that when theirs comes they can have it pushing alongside if the Protector can stay up.
This Protector is getting absolutely demolished. They're not going to get anything more than that. They may have overstayed.
Protector down. Virtuoso gave a baby toss to Richard Gere so he could get out and maintain his 0 deaths at this time, but he's kind of paying for it as his health is depleting quite a bit. But as you said, he does like to flirt with death. Yeah, he is good if he is lower at health.
Not a care in the world there.
No, just hey, you know what? I'm still alive. I'm gonna live every moment, no matter how many health points I've lost.
And for being a meme team, they did a really clever thing. It was off camera, but as soon as that Triglog was secured, Wipeout actually grabbed the turret in the bottom right, and so that means this camp is going to be up sooner than the other side. So they're going to have an extra turret because of that very heads-up play during the next objective, and now they're also securing the Biotic Emitter. So n0b0 Esprouts is going to have more toys, and Volskaya Foundry really all about the toys. And they
really
also,
is.
Yeah, they'll have their heroics to play with too, with Riptire, Scarlet Aegis, Army of the Dead, Warlord's Challenge, and Commandeer Odin.
And then over on PFM side, we have most of the ultimates picked, as Diablo hasn't quite selected his yet. Mosh Pit Online for ETC, Dragon's Arrow for Hanzo, Counter Strike for Alarak, Nano Boost for Ana. And we do see Lightning Breath coming out from Diablo.
So both sides kind of not really caring when they secure this top wave, and it doesn't matter so much with the objective in the top lane. So it was secured first for PFM. Now n0b0 is actually holding theirs, and now they're going to cap it. So I imagine n0b0 Esprouts is probably going to rotate top, clear camp, and allow theirs to push in. And that's exactly what they're doing. Danger Ping coming out. I think that's from n0b0 Esprouts. And look at the placement of the Concussion Mine and the Bear Trap, kind of cut off any aggressive rotation. Speaking of aggressive rotations, they have caught Wipeout, who is just not even a half a step out. Drop the turret, Wipeout, and he does. He does pop Army as well. That may have been unfortunate, but the stroke gets tossed under towers, and PFM able to trade out. Wipeout held out for just long enough, and also dropped the turret as he should have. And a 1-4-1 trade.
Just like you predicted, their fortification camp is back up, so they're looking to have another turret in the pocket. One thing I'd like to point out is that n0b0 took that protector top, and the well is down for PFM. You know, when and if there is another fight, which can be a challenge. But I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, that's what the kind of standard way to play here on Volskaya is you take that first Triglav protector, and your job with it is to clear out that fountain and as many of the towers mid and top for XP as you can. Any fort damage is kind of bonus.
Right, walls and wells, walls and wells.
Speaking of walls and wells, mid lane, PFM opting to push in, not going to the objective yet because they don't have 13. In the top, PFM actually catches Ana out, and they're able to secure the kill.
And they already have 34% on the objective.
Yeah,
we do see the fortification camp getting picked up by PFM. They really want to have some cushion for that engagement top. You know, it's really not like this objective is channeling at some super fast pace. They're looking to either have those things for taking over the objective or defending against the protector.
Yeah, and for sure, a Biotic Emitter and 2 turrets for n0b0 Esprouts. Only 1 turret as ETC gets tossed, and you don't want to throw in the mosh pit there, so be careful there. But a full fight breaking out. Richard Gere gets chunked hard. All of the items going down, except for the turret by Rag, and it looks like PFM is getting the lesser end of that. Odin finally goes down. PFM in retreat. Diablo in trouble, trying to shadow charge to safety, but he will be unsuccessful. Wipeout is in trouble. But into the fray to safety, Virtuoso has just been a monster, but ETC will not let him pass. And that is a 3-4-1 mosh pit kind of on the way out, but Arya is in trouble. She will go down. Mudge running for his life, eating a lot of damage from the turret. Rag is in pursuit, desperate to get another kill. ETC will escape to tell the tale and wait for his teammates to respawn.
I am so happy that you were able to articulate everything that was going on, because my brows were just furrowed over here. My jaw was dropped.
Yeah, that
was aggressive.
That was definitely a little bit all over the place. And PFM just they can't quite seem to get their feet underneath them.
Here we're wondering, who's gonna get that final hit? Who's gonna get that kill from n0b0 Esprouts? And we do see that it's not a problem.
No, it's not.
You know, really maintaining kills on that Alarak has kept his sadism at 80. And they are at a 2-level advantage, but we see them down here at the bottom.
Yeah, and on the side of PFM, it kind of feels like they haven't been able to deal enough damage this game. Just like last game, they're kind of struggling to bring those heroes all the way down in these team fights.
I think that we'll see a change, and PFM, we can't count them out yet whatsoever, because I mean, we've seen 2 protectors at this time. We know the habits of n0b0 after seeing their rotations on the map, and they're really anticipating where they're going to be, and this is how they're going to figure out where and when to re-engage and get, you know, get some domination going. They're already at their siege camp top, trying to get some things taken care of so that they can find a way to really catch someone on a rotation. Or, for example, Rag is mid alone. He doesn't necessarily know where that team is.
Yeah, Junkrat's a pretty hard pick to get. But you're right. You know, we saw in game 1, PFM had that big team fight in the mid that just completely evened the game out, and there's no reason that can't happen right now. ETC is in trouble. Flip, toss. He is able to power slide to safety, and thank goodness for him, because he was in for a world of hurt there.
Definitely PFM staggering behind, as ETC did, you know, engage a bit early on that, and you know, the bio emitter will go to n0b0 Esprout.
And once again, those items, 2 turrets and a biotic emitter. For the side of n0b0 Esprouts, they also have the well advantage, as that well is gone in the bottom lane.
Both are at the same talent tier advantage here, not advantage, but rather just talent tier. You know, it's like to fight or not to fight. Death timers are rising. Where are we going? It looks like they're rotating bot to try and get some structures down without the protector. They haven't had the luxury of having it, so they're gonna try this and see what happens.
And this is a great call to at least get the fountain and even that part of this next objective out. Really heads up move. They're coming out from PFM. However, the concussion mine into the toss, into the Warlord's challenge, into the groundbreaker. Mudge finally goes down, but PFM gets the counter kill onto Ragnarok, and here comes PFM trying to make this out of something, but Diablo goes down. Virtuoso still chasing him down. He had words with that minion. He went down as well, but PFM, it looks like they will get away to safety, as Xerask able to telekinesis himself out of trouble.
Yeah, that, you know, having that Tychus, who is specifically picked for that double front line, able to just stand there and shoot that cow was something that happened. That's all I can really say about it. We do see the fortification camp available again for PFM, but it's dangerous to be there. Hanzo is even a little apprehensive to engage with it, but he has begun. Unfortunately, we see n0b0 Esprouts trying to engage with that fort and deciding to back up and prioritize the objective.
Yeah, that's actually a really good observation. Richard Gere, in both of these games, while he's been playing exceptional, no two ways about it. I like this. They're trying to get something before 20, but unable to lock anybody down. Virtuoso popping the self-cleanse. Richard Gere in both of these games has played really well, but he's also had so much space to operate. It's felt like with Raynor, he's kind of just standing there and wailing away on somebody. In Game 1 and Game 2, Tychus, he's just kind of standing there and wailing away on somebody. He's had so much space to operate and felt so comfortable working with his teammates. That's really a credit to these guys and kind of how they're playing. That Richard Gere is just so comfortable back there.
In the lap of luxury, as we said, but we do see ETC getting tossed, and Virtuoso goes down in the mosh pit. Wipeout is struggling to walk the wrong way on the treadmill. Riptire comes out and takes ETC. Bernie Burns kind of caught in the middle with the stroke chasing after him, but he does go down. Tychus takes his life. Arya just could not sustain in the back. And we just see an all-out brawl here with Alarak just now running for his life as Bernie continues to run as well and gets away with just 157 health. We see Bernie backing and Richard Gere twirling on his cloud mount on the objective.
That was the best drive-by mosh pit I've seen. He actually hit the mosh on the turret and it was still effective. I've never seen anybody else actually do that, where they do a mosh pit on the, not the turret, but the treadmill, Usually anything on that is just a waste, but but I believe it was Mudge actually had an effective drive-by mosh pit to start that engagement, but it still ends up being an ace for n0b0 Esprouts. They're going to start laying siege to the bottom keep, and I think they're going to probably start eyeballing game, maybe with another kill or two. That is going to be in the back of their minds for sure.
We shall definitely see. Bernie and Rag are outside. Vert is trailing a bit behind, going the wrong way on the treadmill, getting there a little bit slow. Protector's down to 74%. It looks like they're taking the fight away from the keep, if that is their intent here, or just taking their time.
I think they're waiting for cooldowns to come back on the Triglav, to be honest. The thing does so much damage, and that's what they're doing. They're going in, they're dropping the cooldowns, and then they're kind of waiting for a kata, a wave, and the cooldowns to come back. This keep is going to go down. 40 seconds and about 50% health on this Triglav, so this thing is still up, and these things hit like a truck. There's the root and the toss and the groundbreaker and the Warlord's Challenge, lightning breath, everybody pressing their buttons, but nobody is going down. Mudge running for his life yet again. Neither side able to secure a kill, and n0b0 Esprouts will signal their withdrawal. They have reservations elsewhere and are content with the bottom keep.
Feels like they're heading mid to get that final fort, as we see Rag using Concussion Mine to get himself a little bit ahead to clear, and the Protector expires.
So weren't able to end the game, but they were able to get bottom keep. They do have a level 20 talent tier advantage immediately onto the Biotic Emitter. And PFM definitely has their work cut out for them. They just seem It seemed like they can't get any momentum, and all of the forts and structures are up, and now the invade coming out a little bit late this time. The stroke
can't get out fast enough.
I almost forgot that he was in such a hurry to get out of there, Slexy. He almost forgot what they came for in the first place.
Right. I was timid for them in that moment, but you know, this is where we see, okay, we know how n0b0's playing. It's not over yet. Let's keep a level head. We both have 20. You know, a Protector at this point in the game can be very powerful. Just stay alive. You know, ping if you see someone. Ping if you're going somewhere. Don't leave me alone. I'm terrified. But also, we've got this. You know, it's really the time to think about how to answer to the engagements.
Well, if PFM gets a, like, say, a 5-0 on the next objective, this mid fort is essentially dead for all intents and purposes. So they would leave somebody on the point to get the Triglav. They would take out that mid fort, start working on keep wall, and then the Protector would end the game. So the win condition is there for PFM if they're able to get a decisive, and it needs to be a decisive. It can't be like a 3-2 or something. A decisive team win on the next objective. They can 100% parlay that into the game.
And that's really what they're probably hoping for. We do see Diablo top answering to the siege camp that n0b0 did send out. n0b0's still poking at mid fort, hoping to keep only the two keeps, mid and top, available. And, you know, just really everyone's playing it kind of safe, just waiting for that 230 to pass for the objective.
Well, yeah, n0b0 Esprouts is no fool. They know what I just said, that this game could easily be decided. As much as they've been in control and as well as they say they've played, they could have a bad 30 seconds here coming up, and that could be that, you know. So they're keeping it tight, and both sides kind of buying their time until this objective is going to pop, and there it is, right on cue.
We see objective popping. We see about 40 seconds left on the bio emitter. We see a turret in hand by PFM. We have toys for n0b0 as well. It's the waiting game. 14 seconds until objective.
And they're waiting for this turret. They want to grab this, get one more toy for the objective. I don't know if PFM is going to come in here and contest this, but the Sonic Arrow was there. They know they were sharking around for this. Virtuoso just hucks Diablo the other way. Mudge is coming in for a flank here. He does get caught and slowed down by Wipeout. Turret is secured. Now n0b0 trying to get away. Wipeout is in some trouble. There goes the Lightning Breath. Mosh Party only catches one. Mudge getting chunked out, as is Virtuoso, is very low. Tries to run against the grain, but that doesn't work. Commandeer Odin finally comes out, maybe a little bit late. Diablo, the first fall. Virtuoso finally goes down. Riptire able to secure the kill on the Hanzo, but n0b0 Esprouts is very low.
God.
And Diablo had Soul, so he is immediately back on the field, leaving both teams with 4 heroes.
These are tight quarters the fights are taking place in. Hanzo literally died in the air using his trait. But, you know, the time it takes to channel this, we will see Hanzo back. They just have to stay alive. But as we can see, n0b0 is back to their bullying ways. The stroke coming at Richard Gere, hoping to take him out, as he knows he has been targeted by that Tychus the whole game. Still, to this second, as he is out of souls and has died once more.
Ragnarok very low, running away, but I think they're going to get Artanis. No, good peels by Mudge, but n0b0 Esprouts smelling blood in the water, trying to get one more kill, and they do onto Anna. And I think this is going to be the beginning of the end. We actually have 3 Katas chunking core.
42%.
ETC goes down. He does give a little angelic concert for their troubles. And this is going to be game 2 as soon as n0b0 Esprouts completes their victory march. Game 2, going to go over to them, securing the 2-0 over PFM, who will now be dropping 2 sets in a row. Although Alarak doing a number on Bernie Burn there.
What was that?
Unfortunately, the
That?
heroic not able to secure it off. I think the Alarak surprised Bernie Burn a little bit there.
That surprised me as well, you know. Would have been a sad time to see Bernie go down at a time like that.
So a pretty commanding game once again for the Meme Dream Team and n0b0 Esprouts, but boy, they looked good, Slexia.
They really did. Looking good. It's definitely GG's to n0b0 Esprouts. You know, PFM fought the good fight. You cannot predict engagements like the ones that we saw here. I mean, they were at random times, in random choke points where no one wants to fight, you know, no choice but to fight. Left to their own devices, n0b0 Esprouts was able to dominate those team fights, and we see this 6-23 as far as kills go. It's just it takes the fun out of the game sometimes when you just feel so bullied, and we see n0b0 so aggressive.
So we're going to jump over, Slexia, into NGS Lobby 1, where Richard Gere will be meeting us for a spicy, I'm sure, post-game interview. So let's jump over to there. All right, so waiting for Mr. Richard Gere to join us. And there he is.
Man of the hour.
What's happening?
Good. How are you guys feeling after 2 pretty commanding games, man?
Yeah, you know, we planted the seed to sprout us a good win, and that's the Esprouts way. So
so I'm going to open the interview with the most important question of the entire thing, and maybe the only one, depending on how this goes.
Yeah.
So I know you guys picked up 3 points in the standings, and you're first place now in Division A, but you picked up another 6 kills on Rag in this set. Is he ever going to catch you?
Right. So when you said that you knew our comms, that was exactly what was happening. I don't think Reg can do anything. I tried, like when I was on Tychus, I would pull my shots right at the end to let him get kills. Dude, he just cannot catch up.
Oh my God.
It's actually depressing.
You're trolling right now, and that's fine.
Now, so I can't let your head get too big because you played great.
Right.
But for real question,
yeah,
both of those games, you had so much space to operate. You were, in times, in both, literally standing there auto-attacking and just shredding their whole team.
That is accurate.
Talk.
I did not see a stutter step from Richard Gere this set.
That would be right. So no, the first game, yeah, the first game I was watching the Vala and they were just running right away from her and jumping on our team. So I just put the Banshee on her and started shooting her.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you in your glory, but it's actually little Jimmy.
Jimmy Jr. Jimmy Jr.
Little Jimmy.
And then yeah, in the last fight, I felt the same way of just I was able to just kind of stand off to the side. So I think they were doing a lot of focusing on vert. So I don't know, which was nice for me. I felt a little more pressure just because the space on Tychus and the Alarak
Right.
second game, but like the first game I didn't feel any pressure at all. So I really was able to just actually stand there. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, there were a couple times. You ever been to like Disneyland and you see like a parent with a leash on their kid? I just felt like that's what it was like with Wipeout, because you would just follow behind him and hit that ace in the hole proc on whoever he happened to be walking next to.
Yeah.
And poor Artanis, I mean, the guy just couldn't get away. There was nothing for him to do. You're just watching his health bar get shredded.
No shields.
Nothing. Man, the peanut butter and jelly combo of the slows out of Arthas and that ace in the hole was just let you really pad those numbers there.
Yeah, it did let me pad those numbers. And we had to fall back on reliable strats that we've done before because we wanted to, get some new strats, but Queen's Consort canceled our ARAM scrim because they said they couldn't hang with us. So I don't know if Hollis is out there. Like,
well, Ember's in chat, so she's hearing.
Yeah, I'm calling them out. I don't know what that's about, but they don't want that ARAM heat.
Well, I mean, that's going to be the next big one is Queen's Consorts and n0b0 Esprouts coming up. When is that? Is that a flex game, or is that coming up here in the next couple of weeks? When's the official setup?
It's a flex game. I have no idea.
So it's basically whenever you guys get around to it. Well, let's get on there.
Whenever they feel like 2-0ing us, I guess. Or whenever. No, really, we're the ones who have the we have to agree to the schedule. So whenever we feel like our beatdown is due, we'll go ahead and get that scheduled.
Okay, so
you're apprehensive about that match, then?
What do you mean? I'm completely confident in the 2-0. What do you mean?
2-0 for you guys.
It just won't be our 2-0.
Right. So okay, you're ready.
We're an ARAM team. This is all just like basically a warm up for us to go into Brawl and dominate. We're not in it for the NGS trophy.
So
I already got mine.
Yeah, season 4? Is that right?
Oh my god.
My memory right?
Season 4, NGS champion.
And oh, you know what? And I hate to do this to poor Rag, because Rag's my guy. But the other thing you took away from Rag is the favorite patron card I made in all of the set for the patrons, which, by the way, plug if you're not. Those patron cards are spectacular. Go find the NGS patron if you want. But my favorite one I made for last season was Rag. It was spectacular until I made yours, which is so great and hilarious.
Richard Gere picture, all Stukov.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And now poor Rag has the second best patron card.
Well, and his doesn't even say Grand Champion on it because we had to 2-0 them during the season and in the playoffs. Like, I didn't want to do that to him, but we had to take what was ours, and he was there. It's just kind of collateral damage.
Nothing personal.
Right, nothing personal.
Rough times.
Okay, so last question. Game 2. How hard did you have to talk Rag off of Gazlo, or were you guys seriously considering it?
No, we never have to talk Rag off of Gazlo. No, we didn't feel like, because even they said in chat, like, they were disappointed there was no Gazlo. We just didn't feel like it was gonna do anything in that game.
Kind of the triple melee would have been a little dicey.
Yeah. So we, I don't know. We needed to blow something up that got flipped, and I don't know how fast that was gonna happen or anything with the Gazlo. I don't know. It feels like there's less control there, so we just went with some more displacement.
I think Rags, he's really proud of that 100% win rate on him. So I think
Right. Well,
he only wants to grab him in the perfect spot.
exactly. Like we don't want to tarnish that. Um, so maybe we'll never play it again and retire at 2-0. That would be good as well.
But don't say
So
that
we'll
too
we'll
much though.
see.
You have to have the threat. You got to keep the threat alive.
Right. I mean, we'll retire at 2-0 after tonight, and then we'll bring it back next game and play Gazlo every match
Makes
after.
sense.
All right. Well,
All
that's enough
Gaslo.
of my hard hitting interview. Slexia, it's all you.
I hit hard, so get ready, Richard Gere.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I didn't prepare any questions because I didn't anticipate you guys would win tonight, but here we are. So congratulations, first of all. Love to see
Thanks.
it.
Wipeout didn't think we would win either. He's always saying we're gonna lose, and I'm the only positive one on the team. They
Here,
all keep saying we're gonna get 2-0'd, and I just tell them like, no, we're fine. Like I'm
here,
always the positive one.
are you ready for me gasping? Wipeout is being negative. Never. I would never see that coming. He is a fountain of positivity.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I love my boy Wipeout.
Sounds like you're being honest, Mongoose, but I can't believe you. Yeah. So I'm not going to. I have more of a question that maybe you can field as the head of PR for n0b0 Esprouts regarding Bernie Burn and his healer pool being limited. What
Yeah.
was the white mane coming out of left field there?
Left field. No, Bernie only plays Whitemane, Tyrande, and just those two mainly, Whitemane and Tyrande. So we were kind of confused by the Deckard ban. You know, he only I don't know. I don't really understand, but it is what it is. He likes
And
he
I'm
likes
just
Malfurion a lot too.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
I'm done with that question. So tell me, what flavor of lemonade was that you were sipping on that back line so cool and collected as you just
It
shredded the other team?
was, let me tell you here. It was a glacier cherry lemonade.
That sounds yummy.
The best Gatorade. Is that Gatorade or is that Powerade? The white
It's
one.
Gatorade. How'd you know?
The white, because it's the
It's the
only
white one. Good
flavor.
job.
It's
Oh
the
my
only
god.
flavor that exists.
It,
Duh.
it is.
Good
Yeah.
job. Okay, fabulous. Well, those are my hard hitting questions. I'm just excited for you guys. Uh, Seeing
Thanks.
where you're going. Love the memes. Love the hint of the meme, and then actually seeing try hard. It's just
Right.
always so exciting.
Yeah. We're the hint meme team. We have a hint of meme, and
Yeah,
a whole lot of try hard. Yep.
exactly.
Well, any shout outs on your way out, my friend?
Um, shout out to Hollis for backing out of the ARAM scrim. Shout out to the n0b0 Esprouts org and everything they do for us. Go to the website. And my teammates for carrying me. I love them. They're my family. Except Rag, he's actually trash.
Mm,
Well, we couldn't get out of here without that, could we?
wow.
All right,
Glad to
man.
hear.
Well, congrats. Go enjoy your real games of the night with some ARAM down the stretch.
Thanks for casting.
Anytime, guys. Take it easy.
My pleasure.
All right, Slexia. Well, that was a lot of fun. We're gonna.
It was a lot of fun. I was so nervous in advance, and
No need
here
to be
I
nervous.
am,
We're easy going
not
here.
even nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy going, fun games. It's good to see friends playing. It's good to see PFM again. Shout out to them for giving it their all, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes.
Well, any shout outs for you before we actually toss it over to your boy Weenus, who is casting Montreal style bagels and celeb gaming in the heroic division?
Like shout outs for me, as in shout
Yeah,
outs for
where can
me
people find
and
you? If you want to say hi,
my
mom,
organization.
the floor is yours. Whatever you want to say, it's all
The
you.
floor is mine. Okay, well, if you really want to have a bad time and have something to laugh at, you might find me streaming once in a while, just salty as all get out on twitch.tv/Slexia. If you want to follow me but never see any tweets from me, feel free to head over to Twitter and follow Sparkles as spelled on your screen right now. I do want to shout out the teams tonight, and definitely the friends that I had playing the matches. It's fun to watch them, and just seriously the inner dialogue of what was going on in my mind, thinking what they were saying, and just hearing. Just I could hear the "get a life" coming out of Fortuoso, or the easy clap. You know, those types of things really made it worth it, and I'm so proud of them always. Number one Ragnarok fan over here, and yeah, that's it.
All right, well, for me, we're going to toss you over to Weenus. However, tomorrow, B-Train and I at twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series, the best opening week Division S matchup. The Lost Boys versus Team Good Guys, 5:30 Pacific. It's going to be a fantastic game. Those were the best two teams in the NA qualifiers. So be sure to drop by. It should be a lot of fun. Some fantastic play coming out. So that's where I'll be then. In the meantime, enjoy the sultry sounds of our friend Weenus and the Nexus Gaming Series Heroic Division, Celeb Gaming, Montreal Style Bagels. Have a fantastic night.